Hi Gemini, here is a general look at your solar chart for March 2012, and every year at this time the Sun comes around to the top, the very top, the zenith of your solar chart, and that area is making you more aware of your overall life direction and where you're going and how it may be affected by choices and actions that you're taking now. Or that you're not taking now. So in general it's a very forward-moving period, and you can connect with others and do things which have been perhaps on the back burner for a little while, and connect with people in positions of power or people who have got the knowledge that you've been looking for. For some reason you may be more aware of reputation at the moment, image, presentation, you very much want to make the right impression, but get across to others, communicate to others, and express yourself to others in the best way you can, and just be more aware of that, and perhaps you feel a bit put on the spot sometimes, a bit scrutinized sometimes. Professionally, it might mean that you're dealing more with officialdom, authority, bureaucracy, or parents. Some of you will have more contact with guardians or bosses, potential ones, actual ones, or others who are in some way important to you at the moment, perhaps in a professional sense or perhaps in a personal sense. This is also a time for you to show some authority and reliability, yourself, take responsibility for take things on your shoulders at the moment, to do with what you have to do to get to where you'd like to go with your on your journey, with your direction in at the moment, or not just at the moment but with your overall direction. Certain others also may be relying on you or looking to you to play, to pull your weight, play your part, or to give some kind of direction. You could get frustrated with the restrictions imposed upon you, though, by red tape or bureaucracy or certain rules just now. Now, until the 5th, it's a very good time for making friends or making new contacts in person over the wires because of where Venus is. Definitely for teaming up with someone, or perhaps mixing and mingling with a group of others. And Venus here is in a very sociable mood, friendly, which means that you get more support from friends, and this is an area of flow where new contacts can be made, or established alliances just feel supported, or you could even be revisiting an old friendship as well. And group gatherings can be very interesting, facilitate positive experiences, get you thinking along new lines. And some contacts could be lucrative for you, or indirectly you find that they provide you with the information which can help you materially, and also useful material resources. So that can be like small things or something really, really big. On the 3rd, around the 3rd and the 4th, you may have to be more hardworking or tolerant than usual, putting a lot of focus going into things, or just understanding you've got to go with the flow somehow or other there. And then from the 5th, when Venus moves and enters a more background area for about 3 weeks, you could find yourself having to put personal preferences on one side a little more, contributing to the common good in some way, or contributing in a more selfless kind of way, making yourself available as a helper in some way. In some situations you will be tending to keep your feelings to yourself, Another way this can work is that a love relationship is taking root or blossoming in a very sort of background, low-key way, or within some sort of bubble, some sort of separated off environment, some sort of circle. And this is definitely a time for you to be looking after yourself, be vigilant about protecting your boundaries, because there might be some imposition in some way on your boundaries just now, or just then, and others can push your buttons a little bit more easily because feelings are a little bit nearer the surface. Just take some downtime whenever you've got the chance. Around the 13th to the 15th, however, you may feel the support or receive the insight that you've been seeking. That's a very promising time there for some reason, and seeds could be set in the ground at that time there, or it might be the end of a cycle, but it feels more like the beginning of one. For most of the month, your ruling planet Mercury is in a very sociable, chatty sort of area, which means that you can access information, learn loads from daily interactions, connections with others, new ones, old ones, and also networking and over the wires. There's also likely to be a lot of mental energy dedicated to furthering your aims through new contacts or established friendships. So again, it won't be what you know, but who you know, and others' influence will have you thinking in a very different kind of a way maybe, or thinking along new and unusual lines. Mercury then turns retrograde on the 12th, which can slow things down. Mercury will stay retrograde for 3 weeks, and forces you to just work a bit harder, because things will be held up or slowed down or not clear. So working a little bit harder at cultivating people, but feeling it's going quite slowly, or perhaps not minding it's going quite slowly, because a Mercury retrograde transit isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can actually help you, because Mercury is running more slowly, to understand things better, to think things through more. And then Mercury transits into Pisces, going backwards on the 24th, which means discussions, correspondence, or ideas may be centered around your life direction, a new enterprise, or those who connecting with those who may or may not facilitate your plans and theories, but at least you're connecting with them. And once again, particularly during the retrograde phase, you're getting a more realistic, can do or cannot do view of things. Giving you more of a feeling of how to proceed from here. You may find that your thoughts or ideas are being squashed or confirmed by the powers that be in the earlier phase, or people who are in positions to give you the knowledge or the sort of the boost that you are seeking. And you'll be more inclined to put a lot more mental effort into communicating or expressing yourself in the best way you can, so that you can get the results that you desire. So that's kind of some of the ways that could be working. Mars is at the root of your chart for a very long time. It's been there since November. It'll stay there until July. At the moment it is retrograde, which slows it down as well. But overall it means that you could be a lot busier than usual on the home base, or getting organised in and around a base of operations. Lots of hustle and bustle going on in a base of operations. Your base of operations is demanding more of your physical energy. This Mars hustle and bustle might be centred around property or property matters, property exchange, or the outside space, the inside space, a working space, or it might be related to a neighbourhood. It might be related to a community where it's all activated and it gets, you have an engagement going on there, or in fact on a sort of bringing it right down to the most personal area, it might be connecting to your family, or something tribal, whether that is, right in your own backyard or over the wires. But definitely Mars will be triggering activities and demanding physical energy from you, to do with from a base or on a base of operations, or to do with a neighbourhood, or it can be over the wires, so you might be working harder from home over the wires. And as I say, Mars is retrograde until mid-April, so it may take a while to get the balance between the inner needs and the gut knowing, and to align with the external circumstances, and it can be quite emotional actually, if it's connecting in with family members, but you're working on it, you're working on getting it right. You may feel you're making a huge effort to set foundations in place, but it's a little bit like the salmon swimming upstream, and sometimes the route is fraught with challenges and distractions and dangers, but it passes, because from around about mid-April onwards, you should be in no doubt about what your inner priorities are. Things start to come more into alignment, and you and either it's you through your effort, or it just is the time for things to start to get sorted out on basic levels, which make you feel better emotionally, because this can mean there's a little bit of turbulence going on inside of you, and you can connect then the future, and connect the future with the past, and honour the past as you're connecting the future and the past together. And you will have these demands on your ability to get and keep your house in order, whether we're talking about externally or whether we're talking about internally, and the feeling of who you're anchored with and where you're anchored. And things may start to take off from June onwards, actually, when Jupiter and Venus are both in your sign. That looks like a bumper time for you, Gemini, particularly the earlier Geminians. And as always with Mars, there may be moments of tension which surface now and then and affect your mood, because it's old stuff, it's nostalgia, or it's sentimental, or it's just old baggage coming up to the surface. This transit tends to trigger memories or patterns rooted in the past. And if this is the case, then just get on with something external, something practical, which is useful and perhaps helps somebody else. Now from the 20th is a progressive phase, when friendships, networking or group gatherings could be highlighted. The new moon conjunct Uranus and Mercury on the 22nd looks very interesting, and this could conjure the unexpected or the bizarre, or a magical insight over the coming month. But you might start to feel something in just the week before, as a matter of fact, because that's the way new moons can work. This can be mean the unexpected or the bizarre or the magical for us all, but it is in a particularly good aspect to your sun sign, Gemini. And it particularly affects you early Geminians. Now, the slower moving outer planets, I'm not going to go into those here, although they are very important and will colour everything that I've just said, because everything I've just said is about the faster moving personal planets, and the outer planets move a lot slower, but everything I've just said is set against the background of the outer planets, so you might like to go to my website and read it there. Also, you might like to listen to the forecast for your sun, for your moon sign or your rising sign. It may have some value for you, and you can just take the bits that you need from it that make sense to you. And I wish you well, and I'll see you the next time.